where's that gone? Oh, God. Bear with me, darlings. Everything's been a bit of a cock-up tonight. Oh, left my phone in the car. Right, there's the box ready for pounding. I was late getting in. Oh, don't ask. Don't ask. There's the hedgehog of truth. There's one phone. There's my phone. Here's the community portable electric telephone. Oh, God. There's the pound. Ready for the pounding. Oh, and here comes the important things. God, I'm ready for this tonight. It's all been a bit of a kerfuffle, darlings. I was very late getting home. Look at that. I left some wine last night. Check me out being a responsible drinker. Right, is that everything? Oh, gosh. Okay, here we go. Here we go, darlings. Hello, good evening, and bollocks. Good evening, darlings, and it is nothing less than a throbbingly orgasmic joy to be here with you, welcoming you to Thursday Night Live, where we're going to spend the next hour waving away Thursday and welcoming in yet another Friday. It's another Poet's Day, darlings, isn't it? Piss off early. Tomorrow is Saturday. Indeed. Oh, God. And relax. All I knows is that to me, you look like you're lots of fun. Open up your loving arms, because I fancies a bit. More on that when it comes in. And in other news, the wheels on the bus go round and round. Right, so where are we? Yes, that's correct. Thank you. Well done indeed. Normal rules apply. I would like to know what you've been up to. Well, we would all like to know. It's not all about you. It's not all about you. Make it about them, for goodness sake. I keep telling you that. All right. Yes, that's right. As I was saying to myself, and I agreed with myself entirely, with something. I can't remember what I agreed with myself with. Oh, yes, we would all love to know what you've been up to today. And of course, the most important thing, what have you been eating? Are there going to be any community snaps? Oh, God, well, whatever else comes up, God knows. You might have been having secret meetings in WhatsApp groups about forcing me to bounce around stark naked on a space hopper with me wedding vegetables flapping all over the shop. I don't know. So we'll just dive into it and see what happens, darlings. But before I have a sip of my wine and launch into your comments, which, as always, are very much the meat and vegetables of this mushroom omelette of a community time and space togethery thingy. I am going to ask you, and this is coming from me. How you doing today? Good day? Bad day? Indifferent day? How you doing? Right. You've got no idea how much I'm looking forward to this glass of wine. Do you know what I fancy? Right. I haven't had a drink tonight. I have not had a drink since about 3:30. It's been a mad night, darlings. It has been a mad night. And I'm really, really, really quite thirsty. When I say I haven't had a drink, I don't mean I haven't had an alcoholic drink. I never have an alcoholic drink during the day. I haven't had a drink of any sort. And I am properly thirsty. And rather than just wolfing down an unspeakable amount of wine, I'm going to have some water as well. There, that'll do me the world of good. Wine first, but we'll have a bit of water as well. And then I will jump into your comments. So other than that, the box will be pounded. You can send in voice notes to the community portable electric telephone. The Hedgehog of Truth is poised for your soul-searching questions that he will force me to answer entirely truthfully and honestly. And yeah, cheers. Your very good health. Bottoms up yours, and above all, please get stuffed. I don't know why that always makes me laugh. Oh, 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 that's lovely. That is so lovely. Today's live stream is sponsored by Andrex Ultimate Quilts. Oh, there's a feature. What is your bog roll of choice? That's fine. Who can resist the thought of wiping their bottom with an adorable Labrador puppy? Henry VIII used to wipe his bottom with a swan's wing, didn't he? First cab I throwing tonight was Carol C. Pip, pip, here I am entering the world of Boaty. How has your day been? It's been a sunny one for me. Hello, Boaty's Barmy Army, says Steve Cook. Ian Hully is with us. How's everyone diddling this evening? It's going to be brass monkey weather next week. It's bloody brass monkeys here. It's free easing. We have to expect these things, darlings. It's freezing here tonight, absolutely freezing. But apparently it's going to be brass monkey weather next week with day temperatures of 3 degrees and night frost. Deep joy, de-icer time and bobble hats at the ready. Oh, bloody hell. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I'm dreading this. I'm dreading the really, because, you know, I live in a microclimate. If if Chesterfield has got one little snowflake, I'll have 3 bleeding feet up here. You longer termers, you know what it's like. You know how it gets over winter here. You've seen the videos of me battling my way to work through the lanes when there are cars crashed and abandoned left, right, and centre. You remember, was it last winter or the winter before, when I ended up having to reverse through 4 or 5 feet of snow for about 2.5 miles because the road was blocked by a crash and there was no way you could turn round. And there was, oh God, that was in Bryan, wasn't it? So God, that must have been the winter before last, not last winter. It was the winter before last that Bryan got me through, wasn't it? Not last winter. I think that last winter I was sensible, and on the days that the snow was really bad, I think I took boo, didn't I? Now, this winter, of course, I won't have a 4x4, but I'm hoping that for some of the winter at least, I'll have the option of staying upstairs and not coming to Windy Bum at all. And that will make life a lot easier. Oh, that wine is very nice. Good evening, Boaty and Honourable Bog, says Peter P, and a jolly good evening to you. And thank you again. I'm sorry last night ended up being so rushed. I was gabbling on about my foreskin and losing my virginity instead of doing what I should have been doing and opening your lovely, thoughtful gifts. So thank you to Carol C and thank you to Peter P. They're absolutely lovely. I've had a bit of fun with them today. The fridge magnet, the Finland fridge magnet, is in pride of place on my fridge magnet board, and I love the fact that it's there. I wouldn't have thought I would. I've never done a Sean. I've never said send me a fridge magnet of where you are from. So I thought that would upset my OCD or something. The fridge magnet should only be places that I have been. But no, that's not the case. I love the idea of having a fridge magnet where you lot are from. So I absolutely adore the fact that that I've got a Finland fridge magnet. So my post box is very much open to fridge magnets from where you are from. If anybody would like to do me the incredible honor of sending me one, I would love to put them up on my fridge magnet board. I just love that idea. It's a nice community thing. I love having things from you around me. I love looking around and thinking, oh, so and so sent me that. And so, I mean, look, this part of the nightly thing, that's a community thing. And of course, we've got the community front parlour now. And hopefully, we will have a community Airbnb. There is another update on Tomato's video, darlings. Sorry, live stream tickle. Diane Sturdy is with us. Good evening, lovely people. Matron is here. Evening all. Carl Burton is with us. Good evening, everyone, and a jolly good evening to you, sir. Hi, good community, says Carol C. Today, I've had a haircut, been on a walk to the seaside with my woman's Facebook walking group. Oh, that sounds lovely. Bad Books is with us. Good evening, all. Boaty was born in the 70s, like me, says Steve Cole, with scissors in his hands. Andrew Buttigieg is here, and as always, greets everybody by name. Paulie Galtieri is with us. Good evening, Paulie. We made it through the woods, says Steve Cole. Oh, and hello, Hedgie, says Andrew. I'm jealous, Carol, that you live near the sea, says Diane. So am I a little bit. Denise Seven is with us. Good evening, all. Good evening to you. Kerfuffle, says Peter P. So business as usual. Even more of a kerfuffle than normal tonight, darlings. It's all just been a bit mad and a bit hectic, and things have happened and got in the way of things, and things have gone wrong and just become complicated. It's all okay now. I mean, I was home in time for the live stream. We're all together. I ballsed the live stream up as well. So if you were trying to find it earlier, you wouldn't have been able to, because I got the scheduling wrong, because I didn't do it. I forgot. I only did it just before 10 o'clock, and I was in a rush, and I've ballsed everything up today, darlings. Well, not quite everything, but I've ballsed many things up today. There are some things I haven't ballsed up, and we should cling to them. Now, food. I started my new food regime today. Now, I didn't go down the bacon sandwich route. Two reasons. One is that quite a few people told me that processed meat every day would be very bad for me and I'd probably die. Two, I couldn't afford to buy any bacon. But I did have a tin of beans, darlings, that I was going to have for lunch the other day. And ended up not doing it, and I can't remember why. So I thought that rather than just having my slice of lavishly buttered toast, I would add beans to it on a semi-regular basis. So I decanted my tin of beans into some Tupperware, and this morning I had one slice of toast, but with a goodly spoonful of baked beans on it. And then I had a smaller lunch. For lunch, I just made a small one-breasted Spanish lady, Juan Titty. I made a small Juan Titty of noodles. And I'll be doing the same again tomorrow, darling. So what do you think about that as a slightly more substantial breakfast to add a little bit of joy to the beginning part of the day, and a bit of a sense of occasion? Basically, a breakfast that you eat with a knife and fork. Now, I don't think that adding a goodly spoonful of the Bacardi beans is too awful, is it? Really? I mean, I know they're a bit up there in sugar and salt, but there's fiber in there and probably other good things as well. I don't really know. Yeah, that's all right, isn't it? And if I have a much smaller lunch, then what do you reckon? What do you think? Because I could do with being a little bit more careful about what I shove down the old little red lane. 'Cause I'm too fat, darlings. I am too fat, and I would like to be less fat. Oh, I did need that. So we said hello to Denise Seven and Paulie, didn't we? Yes, we did. I've got another hubnut joke, says Steve Colgan. This one will be clean. Oh, there we are. And a lovely hairy bollocks to you, sir, says Andrew. Evening all, says Emma, the M11, the lovely Emil. I'm knackered, she goes on, and she adds an exclamation mark for good measure. Lovely evening with at the Christmas light switch on with friends and little lemon. Bloody noodles again. Community snap snap. I had noodles and I'm having them again tomorrow. I might well eat noodles most lunches now. A small portion of noodles, beans on toast for breakfast. Uh, Supper tonight, well, have a guess. Stuffed curry in it. In it, bruv. I'm glad you had a nice evening, Emma. Hello, Boaty, sir, says Lord Stiff Up a Lip, and hello to you. Dinner, says Carol C, was lamb chops in an onion and mint gravy, potatoes, sprouts, and carrots, and it was cooked by hubby. And that's Carol's husband, not Hubnut. Ian Hully treated himself to a new air fryer today. Well, quite honestly, Ian, you're worth it. And I'm sure that everybody would agree with that. A right posh one, digital lights, 3-wire racks, a pizza shelf, and a rotisserie. Flipping fantastic. Paulie Galtieri has done bugger all today. And a replica, a full English breakfast for tea after watching Boaties earlier. Nakedness and space hoppers don't mix, Boaty, says Andrew. No, let's not talk about that. I was going to say I dimly recall something. Emma, says Peter P. Those last boots would look good on Boaty when he goes pogoing or podgering. Trisha Alderman has joined us. Hello, Boaty, and all in chat, and hello to you, my lovely. Who is this man, says Carol C. Drinking water? I'm thirsty, and if I slake my thirst on wine, I'll just neck the bottle in the first half hour. So I thought I'd better have some water. And not had a drink since 3:30. Mine, says T. Cole, has a dog on the cover. Hello all, says Jimmy F500, and well done, Fishnu. Proper order. Eh? What? Have I missed something? I don't understand some of these comments. Mine has a dog on the cover. You're what? You're what, my dear boy? I still don't have my heating on, says Diane Sturdy, and the small window open. Why? What's the matter with you? Busy day, says Carol C. So I'm behind in my viewing of YouTube. Apologies to Emma, Sean, and Captain Mustard. Well, you won't have missed much with Mustard. Oh, for God's sake. Right, we interrupt this broadcast as I appear to be having a complete bodily function breakdown. I apologise for this, darlings. I'll be honest with you. You deserve better. Right, well, Diane Sturdy is obviously very sturdy indeed and somewhat stoic because even though it's about minus 11 million outside, no heating on and the window open. God, no offence, Diane, but I'm glad I don't live with you. I would be hopping around, freezing my little titties off, so I would. Oh, everybody's saying hello to Jimmy F500. Jolly good. Bad Book says Mrs. B made bolognese with Sardinian linguine al nero di sapia for tea. You know, dinner, tea. That sounds rather splendid. Dinner today, says Peter P, was cabbage with mince and lingonberry jam. I'm sure it was lovely, but that just sounds so resistible. Cabbage. Cabbage. Who can be doing with cabbage? The only cabbage that I like is julienne white cabbage with a doner kebab. The way that Charlie used to serve them from the doner kebab van outside B&Q in Droitwich. God, I love that. Oh, happy days, darlings. Happy winter days where I used to eat my Tuesday night kebab off a rather nubile 21-year-old beauty queen. I did. Sasha was Miss, she was Miss something or other, Miss England or Miss something. Bless her. And I did used to eat the kebab off her. I've told you the story of where our living circumcises at the time. Oh dear. I remember my first date with Sasha vaguely. I kind of remember how we met. Um, we met. God, this is. It was in the early days of me becoming a singist, and I hadn't turned pro at the time. I'd started doing the amateur talent competition circuit, but I was still doing the karaoke's with my pals. And Wednesday night, we used to be at the Duck on the Hagley Road in Birmingham. Some of you will know it. Was it the Dirty Duck or whatever it was? The Duck at the Hagley Road in Birmingham. That's where we used to be on a Wednesday night. And I was the talent. There obviously wasn't a talent competition on that night, so I was just out with all of my karaoke mates, with the crowd. Uh, just having a few drinks, having a laugh, having a bit of social fun and whatnot, and doing a few tunes as you do. And Sasha was going out with the assistant manager of the pub. So she was in the pub, and she was in one of the back rooms or something. So she told me, and I was singing September Morn, Neil Diamond, obviously. Yeah, I was singing September Morn, and the sound was piped into the other rooms, and she heard this guy singing this song, and just went to go and have a look because she liked the voice, Went and had a look, and there I was. Yeah, I'd have been 26 or 27, something like that. I I was looking good back then. And she always told me how true it was, I don't know, but she always told me that she was absolutely smitten at first sight. And that was that. And I don't remember the ins and outs, but she kind of knew some of the people that I knew. And somehow she managed to. I honestly can't remember how she did it, but uh, maybe it wasn't a date. Maybe it wasn't a date. She kind of did a Chinese madam and did a sneaky and spoke to people that I knew and found out where I was going to be. Basically, stalked me. And oh God, I do remember now. I did. Bloody hell. God, this is why I love doing things like this, because I remember stuff that I haven't remembered literally since it happened. Let me get a glass of wine for this, because I'd forgotten this. Genuinely, genuinely. I had totally forgotten this. This is a moment like when I was rambling on in a video and remembered about what made me fall in love with proper cooking and that gay chef and the pepper sauce and all of that. I hadn't remembered that since it happened either. Right, this is what happened. It's all coming back to me. All coming back to me now. Yeah, Sasha had seen me on that Wednesday night in the Duck on the old Hagley Road in Brum. According to her, she was just absolutely smitten. Bang, boom, that was it. And yeah, she kind of did a stalking thing. Talked to all of my friends, found out where I was going to be on, or likely to be on certain nights, and this, that, and the other. And the next meetup it wasn't supposed to be a meetup. It was at the Spring Meadow on a Tuesday night. And I was there with my mother, amazingly, my Auntie Sue, because my mum was my best friend, and Auntie Sue was mum's best friend, and they used to like to come out sometimes on a social thing and have a drink and have a laugh and whatnot and listen to me sing or all of that sort of thing. They used to come to my shows. My mother, God Almighty, my mother and my Auntie Sue. Again, this is true. The first big talent competition that I did, the first, these were the first really big talent competition that I did. In the final, in the bloody final, after I did my first number, my mother and my Auntie Sue, who were sitting in quite a large audience, stood up, whooped, and threw knickers at me. I promise you this is true. They'd been to Redditch Market and they'd bought cheap knickers so they could throw them at me. Which now, if beautiful young women, not that my mum and my Auntie Sue weren't beautiful, but if beautiful young women who were massively attracted to me threw knickers at me on the stage, that'd be quite awesome. But your mother and your auntie whooping like demons and throwing cheap market knickers at you. I didn't know where to put myself. Oh God. Me and Mum and Auntie Sue, we had some laughs, I tell you. Oh, I've got some stories I could tell you about them. I probably will tell you as well. Anyway, back to the story that I was telling you. So, it was a Tuesday night, and I am out with my mother, my Auntie Sue, and Zoe, who I called Zoodle Twips, who I was absolutely, I've spoken about it before. I was so head over heels with that girl. So, oh God, absolutely. I was achingly, achingly in love with her. I was in love with her so badly, it literally physically hurt. So I'm in there at Spring Meadow, and Sasha, bold as brass, having found out that I was going to be there, just I was at the bar or at a table or wherever I was, and she just got, and I was talking to Zoe, and Sasha just bold as brass slid in front of Zoe and started talking to me, and absolutely bold as you like, and she obviously didn't know Zoe, but that was brave on. Well, it would have been brave on two counts if she'd have known it. 'Cause if she'd have known it, she would have known that she was likely to get her head kicked in. But it was also brave because, as stunning as Sasha was, Zoe was also stunning. So it's not like she was standing in front of a minger or anything like that. And that kind of got my attention a bit, didn't it? And then I don't know how long this went on, but eventually the thing with Zoe happened that I probably told you about. If not, I'll probably tell you about it 3 more times in live streams to come. So that stopped being a thing. And of course, as soon as word got round that that was no longer a thing, then Sash really ramped it up. I don't know what happened to the poor sod of a boyfriend. I assumed that he was just cast aside, cast asunder. And and suddenly she was bang right on my radar, having put herself there. And I just remember that one night before we were actually together, she came out. She had an amazing body. And she came out wearing something, I can't remember what it was, but wearing something so idiotically erotic that, and then I was about to drive home, and she'd made sure that she was out of the car with me to say goodnight and everything. And then she made sure that she was walking in front of the car in whatever it was that she was wearing when I was driving out. And of course, I was fixated on her ass, wasn't I? I've always been an ass man. And I just drove straight over the curb, didn't I? I was in a Rolls Royce. I was in a Rolls Royce Silver Shadow, and I just drove over the bloody curb. And I can remember her looking over as she heard the thumping of the tyres. And of course, she knew exactly what had happened. And there was a look of triumph on her little face. And that was that. Before you know it, she'd moved in. And then before you know it, we were engaged. And we had an amazingly good time together. We really, really did. My God, she was, she loved the attention. She knew exactly what she was and what she had, and she loved to flaunt it. I remember I remember a show I did one Halloween, and Sasha wanted to be involved with the shows, so she learned how to do my sound and light when I was still quite small, going out self-contained, before we started using the massive sound and light rigs and taking 2 trucks to everywhere when we started doing the corporate stuff. And I remember she just turned up to this bloody gig. Well, we went there together, but when we got changed, I got changed into my stage gear and whatnot. She went out, sitting at the sound desk, and making sure that she occasionally stood up. And she was wearing a basque, stockings, and suspenders. Yeah, I don't imagine a single guy in that theatre would have been spending a second looking at me. Oh, bless her heart. I've got no idea why I was talking about any of that. Probably something to do with Peter P's lingonberry jam. It was the cabbage, wasn't it? I was talking about the cabbage. God, isn't it amazing how this is what happens when you've got a mind like a dropped hose, darlings. It only takes one word to send you off on a flight of memory somewhere else. Too much mustard gives one gas, says Steakold. I would like to try lingonberries, says Diane Sturdy. I've heard they are good. Oh, well, get yourself to IKEA. I've had the older, you know, it's the lingonberry jam you get at IKEA, isn't it, with the old meatballs? Very nice it is too. I might pick on Steve Berry tonight, says Deacle. I've had a drink. And I don't think you can get them in the UK. Shame, says Diane. Talking about lingonberries. Stop touching the hedgehog, says Deacle. I can't wait to buy the official Mingebag Starling coffee mug. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that over the weekend. I've got to put it in the merch store, haven't I? I've got to put something in the merch store. I haven't touched it for about 3 weeks. But yeah, and I'm going to order one myself. I want a Mingebag Starling mug to drink my coffee out of in the morning. Yeah, let's make sure we get that done. Let's make sure we get that done. Oh dear. The new bingo caller, balls it up Boaty, says Ian. Carol C reminds us that the breakfast poll on the Boaty's World Facebook group is still open for voting, and the bacon butty is leading at the moment. Show me the honey, mummy, says Ian. Can't beat a bowl of sugar puffs in the morning. Snap, 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 says Andrew. I had noodles last night. Hubnut never buys wiper blades, says Steve Cole. He used to. Oh, God, says 69 Phuket. Hi, all. Hi, Emma, says Tricia. We enjoyed the boots video. Oh, I've not seen that. I don't have an air fryer, says Jimmy F500, and you are right not to have one, or a dishwasher. And again, you are quite correct. I have a hairdryer, says Andrew. Tracy went to see the Christmas lights in Cardiff. Paulie Galtieri says Hubnut doesn't buy new tyres until they're down to the wire and smooth. Wow, says 69. I've got friends and not the fair weather kind. Better say hi then. Ah, indeed. Mustard's fish are missing his live stream, says Steve Colg. Jimmy F500 says, what does that say? Fef about rant about the. Oh, right. Oh, okay. I got it now. Right. That's what you were saying. Fair play to. Well, you said Vishnu. It's Vishnu with a B. It's the name of a Hindu god. Vishnu is a revered man from an honorable family, so he is named after one of the senior gods. Now, very kindly, because I have I have an alternative Nepali identity as well. Very early on, they wanted to give me a Nepali identity, and they named me after the most senior god. They call me Shiva, and they added Baun, which is the highest caste. So yeah, they were very kind when they named me. They gave me, because if you are from a really good family and you're like the firstborn son or whatever, then you'll be named after a god. And then obviously they have a caste system, and they decided that I am most definitely bound the highest caste. Very kind of them, considering that I'm totally skint. But then, as Basil Fawlty said, the true upper class in the UK are the ones who are skint with the crap suitcases. So I get what you're on about now, Jimmy F. Greetings, honourable community, says the lovely Alan Simpson. Chili con carne with cheese, rice, and tortilla chips for me tonight. Is Officer Crabtree going to send you a voice note? Asks Alan. I haven't been in Officer Crabtree since sorting the SIM card out. Somebody else asked how many people have rung up Officer Crabtree and said, good morning. And I don't know if anybody's tried, because unless the car's turned on and working, presumably you can't get through on the phone. presumably you get an engaged tone or something. I don't know how it works. I've never had a car with an inbuilt telephone before, as far as I can recall, or a car with a SIM card or anything like that. But when I go on a road trip in Officer Crabtree, I would urge all of you to telephone the car and do indeed say, good morning, I just saw you pissing by. And I'll record it. It'll all go on a video. That was why I wanted to sort the SIM card out in Officer Crabtree so you lot could ring in. I remember having that idea ages and ages ago. Some of you will remember. Tracy, you will remember. You were one of the ones who rang. I was going to pick up Mingebag, who was, no, not Mingebag. I apologise. Wet Leg von Titty Biscuits. I was going to pick up Wet Leg from, well, she was coming from the Isle of Wight, but I picked her up from the ferry at wherever it was, Portsmouth or Southampton or wherever the ferry goes to from the island of Wight. And I knew, because the seller told me, that Wet Leg had a stereo, a Bluetooth stereo, so your phone plugs in. So I arranged in advance because it was going to be a long old trip back from the south coast back here to Windy Bum. And I thought it would be a great wheeze if I filmed the journey home and people rang in to keep me company. Now, this is a long time ago. Tracy, you will definitely remember it because you very kindly called. And it worked really well. People called me and we had conversations and the trip went a lot quicker. And it was good fun on the video. I'm trying to remember who called. Beards and Bangers, Rob called, no longer part of the community, no longer really speaks to me, but a lovely chap. There was a bit of a falling out, wasn't there, for those who don't know? And that there was a bit of a kind of seismic divide, and some of the then stalwarts of this channel and these live streams in the early days, they sort of set up their own little community because one of them decided that he wasn't happy with me launching channel memberships. Because he thought that, oh God, what was it that he thought? It was, well, Matron will tell you that Matron deduced what it really was. It was nothing to do with what he was supposed to be upset about. But anyway, that's kind of going off the point. The point was, I drove back from the south coast and people rang the car and rang me and I videoed it and it was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. So I thought, if I'm going to be doing road trips to Snowdonia or wherever in Officer Crabtree, and he's got this capability, you can put a SIM card into him, then let's give him a phone number. And then whenever I'm doing a road trip, then, I'll let you know what times I'm going to be in the car. And if any of you lot are free and fancy a chat, you can give Officer Crabtree a ring. And obviously you will say good morning, because why wouldn't you? 69 says, ever in Chorlton come Hardy. It's Panico's for, if you're ever in Chorlton come Hardy, it's Panico's for a doner kebab. Right. Batman Ruben is with us. I miss Neil, says T. Cole. He's the only one who laughs at my jokes. Diane says, I used to live in Didsbury. Carol C. says, when I visited Finland in the winter, vegetables or salad were very limited. Is that still the case, Peter? So conserves are a welcome addition. Jimmy F 500 says, oi, I'll have you know, Boaty, that cabbage is a national dish here, sir. Yeah, but I'm not there, sir. Any chance of waking Tracy up, asked Steve? Twiggy's hedgehog rescuers in Didsbury. Hedgehog of Truth question from Andrew. Boaty, what foodstuff would you not eat off a lady in the state of undress? Cheese. That's an easy one. Anything that I am willing to eat normally, I would very happily eat off a lady. I, I you've got to have a bit of fun, haven't you, darlings? I love hedgehogs, says Diane. Carl Burton says the ins and outs are the things best remembered, and Alan says, "Oh, I bet you remember the ins and outs." I love a bit of bubble and squeak, says Carol, and that's not a metaphor. Ah. Oh, Peter's answering Carol. Not limited in the shops, in my opinion. Berry and mushroom picking is basically a national hobby here. Oh, we've got a voice note, darlings. Excuse me. Oh, Mustard joined us as well. Hello, litter pickers. Mustard, my dear chap. Hello. Oh, Mustard. Did you book Minge Bag in for an MOT on Monday? And if you didn't, would you see if you can do tomorrow? Pretty pleased with knobs on. Thank you very much. Thank you very kindly. Very grateful, etc. It's hard listening to Boaty with you lot in the comments, says Steve Cole. Hello, Project Paisley, says Peter P. 2 women vying for boats' attention, eh? Well, I know that's very difficult to get your head around now because I'm just, a useless old wreck. But go back 25 years, and I wasn't so bad. Let's have a listen to these voice notes, shall we? Oh, well, that one's been deleted. So let's try this one. Here we go.
No, I completely forgotten.
Would you mind having a word tomorrow and seeing if they can squeeze Minge in for Monday, please? I'll send you a message tomorrow morning to remind you. I would be most awfully grateful. Has the other voice note come back? No, not yet. It's still being recorded. Oh, no, hang on. Here it is. Oh, hang on, we got 2.
Buy lunch.
Fucking... Right. I've done the last 3 lunches. I would have thought it's your turn, isn't it? Fine, I'll buy lunch. For the 4th time in a row. Bloody hell. Buy lunch. Oh dear. And have we got one here? We have.
Good morning, good evening, and whatever bloody time it is, sir. Right. For my breakfast, I had Weetabix this morning.
Okay.
And 2 hours later, I had bacon butty again, sir. I had 2 cups of coffee this morning. And then this evening meal, I had fish, chips, and peas, and bread and butter, and followed by coffee again, sir. And were you changing out while you're on this live stream, sir? For you to put by your pound in the box? No problem, sir. And it's nice to see Emma's been out a bit today.
It is, isn't it?
And it's nice to watch your video and seeing the boss of the restaurant stood up for himself and wouldn't take any messing around, sir. It sounds like it might help you as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And are you going to take the answer phone off Officer Crab? Your car, sir. So the Peugeot. Because otherwise they'll cut straight into answer phone.
Oh, will it?
All right, no problem, sir. I look forward to watch you. And everybody watching tonight, the live stream will be on Friday night. It's always 11:30, sir. Don't forget to remind people.
I will.
Thank you very much. This is from Mr. Parry from Porcelain Like the Will. Over and out. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to hope everybody on this channel has had a nice day, and you have, sir. Our Emma's had a nice day, and our captain, and that's all. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for making me a part of this channel. Let me ring up, sir, and do these voice messages, and why don't other people do it as well? Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. It wouldn't be the same without you. It really wouldn't. And yeah, it was about time Bish lost his rag. There is an update on that situation. We're kind of running out of time tonight, but it is in tomorrow's video. So, have a gander at that. Let me know what you think. What else is in tomorrow's video? Right, the UK Singles Network thing. I explained a little bit about that, and I'll put some links into the video description as well, in case anybody's interested in basically trying to help me resurrect it, because it's on its arse, it's through the floor, and I kind of wish it wasn't. I love the dynamic that we've got here, and I just wish I could inject a fraction of the dynamic that we've got going on here back in singles. So, but anyway, that's all in tomorrow's video. So do have a peek at that, if you would be so kind. Right, lots of hellos, lots of hellos, lots of hellos. You've been engaged more times than Del Boy. Well, I don't know how many times he's been engaged, but I haven't been engaged for ages. I haven't been engaged for right, I'll tell you exactly. How old am I? I haven't been engaged for 17 years. Oh no, boo. I forgot about boo. Okay, scrub that. I'm so glad I had cabbage today, says Peter P. There's iron in cabbage, says 69. Oh, and then we're talking about Rover 25 clocks. Oh, Ross joined us. Sorry, folks, driving to work, so you're on in the background. Boaty, I thought they called you Uncle, says Peter P. Nobody calls me Uncle. Nobody calls me Uncle. Now, obviously, I am the oldest person in the restaurant, so everybody who's a generation below me should really call me Uncle, but they don't. They either call me what do they call me Shivdai, an abbreviation of Shiva, and with Dai meaning older brother, or they call me Jason, or Ram calls me Boaty. Nobody calls me Uncle. I assumed that they would, but it's a weird thing that everybody who's a generation below me, so all of them, there was Samrat, there was Sabana, who used to come into the chats here. There's Samyag, Chintan, Amrit, of course. Normally there would be quite a big divide, but there isn't. I'm just friends with them as if I was the same age as them, even though they might be 21 and I'm no longer 21. They don't have that. They will call people uncle, like they will call Ram uncle. Ram is, what is he, 48, something like that. And they will call him uncle, but they will never call me uncle, because we've got a friendship that kind of makes us equal. And they don't want to call me uncle. They don't want to put that kind of respectful bit of distance and separation, because anybody that they call uncle, they can't be friends with. because you know an uncle is. Whereas with all of the youngsters at the restaurant, all right, sometimes I ball them out or tell them where they're going wrong or whatever. But we've got a mates relationship. Probably because I've got the mentality of a 12-year-old. But no, nobody has ever called me uncle. Not once in all of the years I've been there has anybody called me uncle. Another voice note for you, darlings.
Does anyone in the restaurant call you Nigel Farage?
No, they
or
fucking.
Michael Barrymore? Or Roland Gift? Or David Williams?
No.
Hmm?
Is that it?
Or Elton John?
Elton John, where the fuck did that come from? Oh dear. I put a link in the Facebook group to the video of the first time that I met Captain Mustard. There was no actual Nicki Minaj of us meeting. It was the drive there and the drive home. But for those who don't know, I went on a pilgrimage to Project Nigel for a very real thing. I needed a part that he had and that wasn't available on eBay at that time. But I did want to meet the guy. I watched his videos, you know. And I went into the yard, and within about 3 sentences, he basically said, "Fuck me, you look like a Nigel Farage tribute act." But no, nobody in the restaurant has ever called me Nigel Farage or Roland Gift or fucking Michael Barrymore. Oh, God. Balls, bollocks, plums, tennis, passports. Oh, cricket, coconuts, we want milk, grasshopper, Officer Crabtree. What's... Oh, this all sounds like a right carry on, say 69. I remember that live drive home with the phone call, says Andrew. It was brilliant, wasn't it? I will go out of the bock pissage. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I knew I'd get the restaurant chap's name wrong. Apologies to the gentleman. Don't worry, Jimmy F. He's been called worse. Boaty, have you pressed the SOS button in Officer Crabtree yet? Yeah, I did it on the drive here when Mustard was driving by accident because I didn't know what it was. Hubnut secretly watches Boaty's live streams while his wife sleeps. I've got no idea. I've been told. I don't know how true this is. I mean, I would assume that Ian has got no idea who I am. I've often conjectured whether our paths had crossed previously because Ian Hubnut was from Birmingham and he was a motoring journalist. I was by far and away the biggest classic and sports car dealer in Birmingham, I was the biggest in the UK, to be fair. So I used to get a lot of attention from journalists. I was always giving interviews, blah, blah, blah. So I assume, do apologise. I assume that our paths crossed. I just would never have remembered him. He would have been a lot younger. And he would probably not remember me. He probably wouldn't associate the guy who ran that place with the guy sitting wittering at these live streams. But a couple of people have told me that he is aware. He is aware of me in a YouTube sense. And I think I was mentioned once, which is a bit weird. I keep on dropping off, says Emma, like Boaty did with the Liverbird. Time for me to see what's going on in my dreams tonight. Good night, all. And yeah, we're getting to that time. We're 5 minutes away from me saying good night as well, my lovelies. Hasn't it flown? Hasn't it flown? let's whiz through the comments and Paulie says Jeff buys cars. I don't know him. Has beef with Hubnut and iDriver Classic. Oh, what's her name? Steph. Steph. I don't know either. I've never spoken to Hubnut at all. Steph, I've spoken to via private message, and she seems lovely. You hear stories about people falling out with other people and whatnot. Who knows what the truth is? The YouTube folks that I've actually met have all been lovely. I haven't fallen out with anybody. I mean, who's to be? Mustard, obviously. He's all right if you take him the right way, which is by the neck. Who have I met? Furious Driving, Matt. Matt is absolutely lovely. Joseph, Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. He's just fabulous. We've had some really good days together. Steph, I've spoken to by message. I drive a Classic. She seems absolutely grand. James, J Among Cars. What a lovely guy. Absolutely, loveliest guy you could meet. Who else? I can't think now. YouTube wars were always happening, say 69. This is what I hear. It's the ego conflict. It's only jokes, say Steve. Now, there are some that I'm told are very much not jokes. There's probably people who've fallen out with me. I'm just not aware of it. I drive a Classic. Didn't like Jeff referring to a transit van as a tranny. Found it offensive. Okay. What do they call you behind your back? Well, I don't know, do I? And I won't worry about it. I'm not reading these out. That's outrageous. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The beige bummer. Oh God, do you remember that? Do you remember that phase we went through when we were going to set up celebrity? There's a fly there. Celebrity tag team YouTube wrestling things, and we started giving them all names. Oh God, let's try and remember them. They were brilliant. Joseph was the beige bomber, of course, which was just amazing. And somebody came up with one for Matt Furious Driving. What was it? It was it was a takeoff of Kendo Nagasaki, and I can't remember. Somebody will remember what it was. There were some brilliant names. We should bring that back. I love that. I've mentioned Boaty's World a couple of times on Hubnut Live, says Andrew. I saw Hubnut at a meet, says 69, and he was well hyper. Mr. Lloyd is a gentleman, says Paulie. He totally was. Yes, that's right, Peter P. That's right. Yeah, it was Kendo Matasaki, the masked car bore. That's right. I remember losing my shit when somebody came out with that. Joseph Lloyd is absolutely fabulous. I've told you, he came here to Windy Bum and we didn't film a thing. We just spent the whole day sitting, chatting, hanging out, having an awesome time. And he is just fabulous. Pound the box time it is, because it's time to go, darlings. It's time to go. It's flown, hasn't it? Now, I will admit that. Right, I'm going to do something daring here and show you. If you can see, there's a £5 note in there because I did a note coin swap today. I needed coins. Here we go. £1, £1. And this is, of course, for the birthday bash, the January birthday bash at the Grand Hotel in Llandudno. And in it goes. There we go. That's the box pounded. Oh, you're right, Mustard. Yeah, Rover Joe, chops, smashing peanuts, beards and bangers. And Hooked on Classics is on a list. Me and the M11, we are very keen to meet up with the lovely Simone of Hooked on Classics. Yeah, let's not talk about Little Joe. All right, darlings. All right, I think it's probably time to say enough is as good as a feast, and call that one a day. Thank you, Peter P. Thank you so much for your company this evening. As always, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching the videos. Oh yeah, Sean. I forgot about Sean. Sean is Sean is probably the third biggest that I've met, isn't it? James would be the biggest. Matt, and yeah, then probably Sean. One of the big boys, one of the big knobs. All right, darlings. Right, yeah, I will be back tomorrow night. It is Friday. It's going to be later. It's going to be 11:30. I apologize. It's unavoidable. Thank you for watching the videos this week. They've all done reasonably okay in terms of views. Thank you to all of those of you who have liked them and made the effort to leave a comment. I really, really appreciate it. There is a video coming out tomorrow. There is the update on the Airbnb, and it's one worth listening to. Things are changing day by day, aren't they? But yeah, it's a slightly positive update, darlings. Gives us a little bit of hope. So do watch that. It's in the last part of the video. Again, it's in the driving home part of the video. I can't remember what else I did before. Oh, I did a bit of shit about singles, didn't I? And a bit of noodle cooking and all of that. Right, that's it. That is it. Dan's Bangers. I never met Dan's Bangers. That's still on my list. I want to meet Dan's Bangers, the man who inspired me to try and do a YouTube channel. And I still walk in his footsteps. We all do. We all do. We all aspire to be Dan's Bangers. I think he's stopped doing it, hasn't he? Which is outrageous. Outrageous. What is life without Dan's Bangers on YouTube? We'll have to come up with some sort of, I don't know, tribute to keep Dan's Bangers alive. Right, everybody saying good night. So have a safe and peaceful night, everybody. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. Take a bit of joy from it if you can, anywhere, anyhow. Take really good care of yourselves. And if you're fortunate enough to have people that you love and who love you, take really good care of them too. The candle will be relit 11:30 tomorrow night, Friday Night Live. Much love from me. See you next time. And on that note, pachoo and indeed, bosh.